Welcome to the Genius Talk podcast. I'm your host Atul Raj from the bestemailmarketer.com, and today we have Terri Levine with us. Terri, thank you so much for joining.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Great. So, for our listeners who don't know you, can you tell them who you are and what you do?
Sure. I am a business consultant. I've been in the industry for over 30 years now, and I help those in the business of transformation first live well and then create or recreate their business so that they actually earn well, spending a lot less time working and making a lot more money.
Hmm. Okay, so what was the turning point that led you to create heartpreneur and focus on heart-based business instead of traditional marketing and sales?
Yeah, so Heartrepreneur really came from my company wasn't originally called that, and it came from one of my publishers. I was writing another book for him, and when I met with him, he said, "I really want the book on Heartrepreneur." And I went, "What?" And he said, "Heartrepreneur." And I said, "I don't know what you mean." And he said, "You'll figure it out." And I was taking the train back from New York City, where I met with him, to Philadelphia, where I live. And on the train, I realized that it's the way I do business, heart to heart, transformational, not transactional. By the time I got home, I trademarked the term. I changed the name of my company. I wrote several books on being a heartrepreneur. And that's what I'm focused on, teaching people how to do business heart to heart. So real transformation happens and not transactions.
Okay, so for heart-centered entrepreneurs who are overgivers and underchargers, how do you help them step into charging premium fees without feeling guilty?
So, the first thing I want to say is I'm not all hyped up on this whole movement about charging premium fees. I make plenty of money and I don't have to charge premium fees. I charge the fees that I believe I deserve. And if it's something that takes a lot of my time and energy, I will charge higher. And if it doesn't, I will make my prices affordable so that I can help and transform more people's lives. It's not about, oh, I'm in a 7 comma club or I'm ringing a bell every time I get a client. That's transactional. True people that I know, like myself, doing business heart to heart, making transformations, we don't look at high ticket. We look at what is the value we're creating and what is the fair price for someone to invest for that value. And so, yes, some of my clients have invested 100 grand with me. They are getting high level services that are very intense. And I can give services to others for only 5,000. And that feels really good to me.
Okay, so you said mindset and personal growth comes from business growth. Sorry,
Yes.
comes before. Okay, comes before business growth. So, what inner self do your most successful clients make?
So I would first say that most of them are not living well.
Okay.
And so their mindset is I've got to hustle, I've got to grind, I've got to be on podcasts, write blogs, be on every social media platform, I've got to send emails, I've got to get on a million calls, I've got to DM people, and the list goes on and on. So, number one, they're not enjoying their business. They're doing tasks they don't like, and they're usually not making an ROI as a result of those tasks. And they're sacrificing their health, their relationships, their time with family, vacations, taking care of their kids or their parents or visiting with their grandkids, whatever it might be. So the first mindset is the people who have successful businesses have learned to live well. So we start with having them live well in their lives and shifting their mindset away from hustle and grind to easy, joyful, effortless, and fun. Then we install systems that are called reverse marketing engine that brings clients directly to them, raising their hands so that they don't have to be all over social media and DMing people and paying for ads and sending out emails and all of the typical things that people do that have either little or no ROI and take time away from living their best life.
Okay, so can you share a client story where a mindset shift create a dramatic revenue or a life change?
Yeah, I guess I won't use this woman's name.
Oh, okay.
So I'll tell you when she first came to me, she came and she said, I think I've hired every coach under the sun. I've done all their programs and I'm still kind of stuck at 100 grand. I don't get past that and I'm working 50 hours a week. And so the first thing I did was really work with her and her beliefs and this like workaholic mindset that she had. And so for the first 2 weeks, I wouldn't give her any business strategies. And she's like, I need a strategy. I'm like, nope, you need a life. And after the second week, after I really got her to change her thinking, then we started doing her business with reverse marketing, where she would use the correct 2-step posts to simply get hand raises, and then from that, she would share a Google document with a Loom video about what she offered. And there would be a conversation in the chat with about 5 people a day. Two of the five would be purchasing her program, which at the time was $3,700. And so all of a sudden, at the end of 2 months, she had made more money per month than she'd ever made. And she was only working 10 hours a week. That's an example.
Okay, so she start working less hours, enjoying her life, and doing better.
Exactly. Exactly. And also making bigger transformations with her clients. We revised her program a little bit where people could get much bigger transformations than they were originally getting.
Okay, so you have helped thousands of coaches and business owners grow their revenue. So what do you think? Like, what are the most common mistake you see they are making?
The most common mistake is that they are constantly pitching. Their social media posts aren't really creating value, it's a giant pitch. Their emails aren't creating value and education, it's another pitch. And so they're kind of trained to pitch, 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 and it's turning people off. They're kind of, I always tell my clients, you're throwing up on people, and that makes them run away. So one of the shifts is just being a content creator, creating value every time you write something or you create an audio, create a video, it's how is this going to help someone? So it's changing the conversation. The second thing is just giving a way for people to raise their hand and come to you instead of hunting for people and networking and posting everywhere. It's just allowing people to come to you. So just giving you an example, I have a client who's trying to fill her upcoming retreat and she was posting at people and it was just kind of nauseating. And I said, people aren't paying attention. Start talking about what their pain is and what the transformation is and stop talking about the retreat. And she did that for about, I guess it was about 2 weeks. And week 3, I said, now ask people to raise their hands. So if this resonates with you, DM me, let me know. And she started conversations in the DM. I think she has 20 places and she sold 4, no, actually 5, because she sold another one last week. So she sold 5. So she's getting there because she's having people who are truly interested raise their hand and then having authentic conversations with them.
Okay. Okay, so you talked about leveraging email as a coach or a consultant. So what simple email strategies that you wish every coach should use?
So I think it's really important. Number one, not to use AI to write your emails or your social
Yeah.
media posts. You need to speak to people from your heart. You need to be authentic. Heartrepreneur stands for authenticity. It stands for transparency. And it's really important that you write emails just from your heart. So when I write mine, I sit down and think, what are the big problems I see people talking about or on social media? Or what is something that I could teach or help or educate? And then I write emails from my heart as if I'm speaking just to you, just to one person, saying, what's a piece of advice I can give you that would be helpful? And then after every maybe 4 or 5 emails, just allowing people again to raise their hand. Hey, if this speaks to you, if you're interested, if you want to connect, just email me back. And by the way, they do. If you create a lot of value, they definitely do.
Okay, so what belief or habit should coach absolutely let go if they want to grow in 2026 and beyond?
Great question. So the first thing is that hustle and grind mentality. The second thing is doing the things that they don't enjoy. So if you don't enjoy creating videos, don't do them. If you don't enjoy being on LinkedIn or wherever, Pinterest, don't do it. only do what you love. Do what you love what you do. If there's certain types of clients that you really don't like working with, let them go. If there are other kinds of clients that you do like working with, but you haven't moved into that arena, open that up. So it's truly finding what you dislike, stop doing it. What's not bringing an ROI, stop doing it. What's sucking time away from living your life, stop doing it. And only do the things that you love, that bring you an ROI, and that transforms lives. That is a very big mind shift from the way most people think. I've just got to work at this and keep doing this. I'm not doing enough. I have to do more. I do less. I work about 20 hours a month. My company averages a little over 3 million to 4 million every single year because I do it in an easy, effortless, joyful way, only doing what I love and loving what I do.
Okay, so if you could give every heart-centered entrepreneur listening one heart-based business rule, okay, to live by, then what would it be?
So, the first business rule for me is only doing what you are absolutely great at, and that comes easy to you. I've had clients trying to work on several different niches that really they weren't in love with and wasn't easy for them. So that's number 1. Number 2, only do what brings you a return on investment. I know I've said that a few times. So I'm going to make the point again because it's that important. There's so much stuff that you could do. You could sit all day hiding behind a computer and posting all over and scrolling and, watching YouTube videos. Only do what you love. So, for example, I absolutely love Facebook. I love it. I just find my clients there. I have a community there. I love being with my community. So I hang out there. I dabble in Instagram and threads if I feel like it. It's only because it's fun. I don't do anything else. Only do what is fun and what comes easy and naturally to you. That's the authenticity part.
Okay, so you have built and sold several companies before,
Yes.
heartpreneur. So, what lesson from those earlier businesses most shaped how you coach entrepreneurs today?
Great question. So first, and I got this from I was writing a book with Stephen Covey called Blueprint for Success years ago. And he said, always start with the end in mind. And that's a lesson that I had to learn. In my first business, I had no end in mind. I didn't know what I was doing, quite frankly. And I got lucky and someone ended up buying it. After that, I got very intentional. I don't start a business unless it has an end game, unless it could be left to my family as a legacy or unless it can create a wealth dynasty. I don't start a business that is all about me. I start a business that could easily go on without me. So you don't want a business, called Terri Levine's Coaching, because if Terri Levine decides to retire or disappear from the planet or spend 6 months in Tahiti, the business is done. So you want to create a business that goes beyond yourself. Your ego is not your amigo, and your name is not, no offense, not all that important. So now when I start businesses or when I help my coaches and consultants do so, it's very intentional. It's how do you sit in the CEO chair? It's asking yourself, would a Bill Gates or a Steve Jobs would be reading their emails? Would they be creating social media posts? Would they be sitting down and writing all this stuff? Would they be sitting there editing videos? No. Get yourself out of the worker bee chair and into the CEO chair. And that's how you have a successful business and a sellable or pass downable entity.
Okay, so for our listeners who want to know more about you, want to connect with you, get help from you, where can they go?
So I'm going to give them two places. Join my community, which is at www.heart, Heart, repreneurs, heart, Repreneurs, heartrepreneurs.com. You get lots of free training, lots of opportunities to be interviewed, do networking, and get in front of our community of 10,000. And second, if you really want to live well and earn well and create a life first business, grab my latest book at book.terri, Terri, Levine, Levine.com.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Levin.
Oh, it's been wonderful.
Okay, so is there anything else that you would like to share?
Yeah, the last thing I want to say is stop imitating what everybody else is doing on social media because you're starting to look like a cookie cutter. You want to be yourself, you want to be unique, you want to be different, you want to talk about your values, what you stand for, what you stand against, how you create transformation in a different way than anyone else. So stop being a cookie cutter, start being authentic.
Okay, Day, thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you so much for spending some time with us. It was really fun chatting with you.
Thank you. Great to be here.